Hey everyone, welcome back to the Mixing Toolbelt podcast. Once again, I'm Adam Simon, and I run Simon Sound Studio, which is a recording consultation, editing, mixing, and mastering service for all things audio. Today's episode is going to be all about preparing to record and organizing your mixing session. This could be a demo, it could be a full production of a song that either you, someone else, or another group of musicians is planning to record. Before we get started, if you enjoyed the previous episode all about recording and kind of the basics of the equipment that you would need to record, be sure to subscribe to the channel so that you get updated as all future episodes get released. Also, if you'd like to support the production of this podcast, there's a link below in the description. The first two things that I want to talk about in this episode are tempo and key. Starting with tempo, the most basic explanation of this concept is just the speed of your song. So tempo is measured in BPM or beats per minute. The most common tool used to exemplify this speed is called a metronome. And I wanted to go ahead and play you a couple of speeds with a metronome just so you can kind of hear the range of numbers that we're working with and what type of speed to expect from certain BPM. Here's 60 beats per minute. Here's 120 beats per minute. The reason why it really matters that you decide on this tempo before beginning the recording process is twofold. One, you want to be sure that if there are several musicians playing, maybe in a band setting, they all feel comfortable playing at the tempo that's going to be decided upon. So if the drummer can play a groove at 110, but the guitarist doesn't really feel comfortable playing their part at that tempo, then you're really going to have to reconsider it later down the line, and that's just going to have wasted time at the beginning of the process. Secondly, and related to that, is if you're just recording one person, or maybe you're recording yourself and your own music, and you play a few tracks, you record maybe a guitar, maybe a bass guitar, at one tempo, and you realize later down the line, I kind of want to speed this song up, or maybe I kind of want to slow it down. Well, you've already recorded a few tracks, and so you would really have to go back and re-record those if you wanted to adjust the tempo. So be really sure that you have a solid idea of what tempo you want to work with before you begin the recording process. The second concept that I want to talk about is key. And I can't simplify this one as much as tempo. Speed is a pretty understandable concept. To simplify this the best that I can, a key is just the set of notes that the song is going to play throughout. And there's likely one particular note that everything is going to be revolving around and theoretically returning to. This has to do with the scale that all of your instruments are going to be playing in, as well as the chords that they are playing. The reasons that it's important to consider key are similar to the reasons to consider tempo. Let's say you're playing this chord progression on the guitar and recording it. C, F, G, and then back to a C chord. That's an example of a pretty simple chord progression within the key of C. Now let's say that it's the singer's turn to record their track, and they come to find that singing in the key of C that everyone else is playing in is too low for them, and they want to raise the key up to D instead. Well, now you already have those other instruments recorded, you would have to go back and repeat the process. So just be sure that every single part feels comfortable playing in a certain tempo and a certain key. Keep in mind that not all songs are going to have a constant tempo throughout, so sometimes it could speed up, sometimes it could slow down, and not all songs are going to stay in the same key. Some songs don't even have a key, believe it or not, but that is a more advanced concept than we'll be talking about in this podcast. Those things are very important to consider too. If there is going to be a change in tempo or a change in key, everyone needs to be aware of it, and everybody needs to feel comfortable playing in that range of speed and pitch.